Hey YouTube, it's Cutt here, and we're bringing you another one. First of all, I want to give a shout out to all the Patreons. Thank you guys so much. I'm always going to give a shout out to the new Patreons, but since technically everybody's new, everyone's going to get a shout out. Shout out to George Rowe. Thank you to the VIP John Robertson, VIP HF Washington, which is actually my grandma. Shout out to Willie Camacho. Shout out to Corey McCullen. Shout out to Jonathan Connolly. Shout out to Beth Catino, who's my mom. Shout out to Daniel Phillips, and shout out to Shannon Burns. Don't forget to join the Patreon. There's a lot of behind the scenes that you guys are gonna love. Like it's already a lot of fun. We're like coming up with ideas. I'm showing them sketches and stuff that nobody's seen yet. That probably won't come out for like a month or two. Like they're seeing some good stuff. So link in the description. Oh yes, click that link. You wanna be a part of this. Don't miss it. So this is basically Cruella week. We did not plan this. Like this was so last minute. Even I asked Asteknight, like, oh, should we do something for it? And he's like, no. And I'm like, no, yeah, maybe it's nothing. And then like the movie got closer and closer to coming out. And I'm like, we should probably do something. He's like, why didn't you say that a few weeks ago? Talking about something 2 days before the movie come out. Let's make something. I know. But I'm so glad we did because I didn't realize how much I really enjoyed Cruella de Vil until I watched the new movie and I was like, oh, this is really jam, bam, bam. Okay, spoiler alert. How do you say it? Spoiler alert. All right, I'm not gonna say anything crazy anyway, but just in case you're like, well, don't tell me how you feel about it. I'm telling you right now. Okay, so if you want to skip ahead, then skip ahead right now. Okay, really good movie. I really liked it. They did kind of like tie in the live action movie that came out in 1996 or whatever. So it could seamlessly go in, but they really made it kind of more like they made everything make sense. You know, it's like, okay, she's a villain, but why? Like it can't just be she's just crazy evil, right? Like what's the core behind that? So check it out. It's a really good movie. It is on Disney Plus, but it's probably cheaper if you just go to the movie theaters, but I mean, it's, you know, that's your life. I mean, okay, so there are 3 versions of Cruella that I've done, and I can't even say that's going to be the end of it. I might wind up drawing Cruella a year from now. I don't know. So the first time I did it was the Cutt version. So I like to take my Cutt character and then put them in different outfits from different movies. And I've been doing the villains, and I have a whole list of villains I'm going to do, but I've only done 3 so far. So you got Scar, Ursula, and who's the one I just said, and Cruella. But I have another one coming soon, so we'll show you that one. So there's that one. Then maybe about a year later or a year or so later, then I did this one. Oh yes. Then I did the live action version of 101 Dalmatians Cruella, which was really great. And then this movie came out and I'm like, I gotta do something. And I'm glad I did because this was a lot of fun. Asteknight killed this remix. Like, it's so chill. It's so it's really like really simple what he did, but yet it was really, really good. So check that out. If you click right here, this one is the newest one. So we called that one the remix, even though I used the same song for the other 2 as well. But you can also click here if you want to watch the speed drawing of the Cutt version and the speed drawing of the old school Cruella de Vil version as well. So we're going to go through the art breakdown. I'm going to show you, the process, and we're going to talk about it. And there you go. I mean, what else is there to do? Okay, so this, I don't know why. Okay, so Procreate's weird because like you can see it's like in a square, and then in a little bit it's going to go to like a what do you call it, vertical. But the thing is, I started it as a square, then I realized, I want to make sure it's a movie scene, which makes sure I show more of the background. But the moment you start off as a square in Procreate and then you like move the crop, it still recognizes it as a square when you do the video. So it's just weird. So it starts as square and then I had to, anyway. So you can see I'm going in, I'm sketching everything out. Because this is based off an actual movie scene, an actual like angle, it wasn't that much like I had to do about thinking. I just had to match the reality that was already there. I think, and then this is the moment I was like, wait, I want it to be like the background and everything. So then I made it wider. And I love this position of her face, like excuse me? Excuse and me are my two favorite words. Excuse me? And that's her face. It's like, I'm sorry, have I said, did you, excuse me? So did all the sketching. You can see it was a very loose sketch. You know, it's funny, I look at my sketch, how I sketch things now compared to how I sketched things back, you know, maybe a year or so ago. And I'm even more precise in my sketching now than I was then. And you'll see it because the newer version of Cruella we'll look at the end, and even that, like, I went in thinking a little bit more as this. I was trying to do a lot of figuring out. So now you can see I'm inking it. And did I know what I was how I was going? I think at this point I knew how I was going to do the glitter sequence look. I think because I've already used that method in the other pieces, which I love to use. I even use it in this newer method. It's a little bit more tighter, but you'll see. So I'm inking everything out. I'm shocked because I thought I was going to have a harder time. With hands are not the easiest thing to draw, and the position in our hands are even harder. But actually, it turned out much better than I expected. I did not expect the hands to turn out that well. So same thing, I like the color block, not color block, what do you call it? Use the eye drop to pull in the color. If I know it's a movie scene and I can't really change the color. I mean, I can enhance it so it's a little bit more vibrant, but I try to keep it, you know, the same. So I'm just color picking to kind of bring in all those colors. You can see I'm blocking in all the main colors. And yes, I added some blush there. And now I think, shockingly, so okay, here's the thing about shadows. Like, shadows on skin sometimes are a little bit warmer, even though it's a cool, like this is a very blue scene. But if you can kind of look, it's a little bit warm on her face. And that might be the lighting that they set up in the actual movie set or whatever. But I had to add some of that, and then I think, no, I didn't do it with the shadows. So like now I would probably like do a little bit of warmth on the skin and then a little bit cooler on everything else. That's what I would do now. I don't think I did that. I think I just used the warmth everywhere for the shadow. So best part, my favorite, especially when you're doing a lot of detail. This is not as detailed as David Ruffin, which, you know, click right here if you want to check that out. I actually drew David Ruffin based off of the detail direction I was going here, and I brought some of those like attributes there. But this one wasn't as detailed, but highlights is where it really takes it. And then that's me trying to figure out what the layers are going to be for products, which we only have the poster for now. So this I drew actually first. I drew this about 2 years ago when I first was starting my Instagram. And I was like, oh, I want to draw my J-Cutt character in different scenes and things like that. And I was like, oh, Cruella, that would be cool. And I think this was actually, it was like a double whammy because I wanted to draw my J-Cutt character as Cruella. But then also, I think there was a like a Vogue challenge where people were taking the word Vogue and putting it, like they would take a photo of themselves and then put the word Vogue there like it's on a magazine. And I was like, oh, I can do that, but with the illustration. And I'm like, oh, Cruella's into fashion. She's a fashion where I'm like, oh, this is perfect. This is like, it's like perfect. And then like Devil Wears Prada, like all that, it's like perfect. So, and you can see even this is even more loose of a sketch than the Cruella because it was a little bit more earlier than Cruella was. So I added the dog. I thought that was kind of cool because I know she has like dogs. And this one was fun because the thing is when I do the J-Cutt character as like the villains or like any character, it's hard because it's like I'm trying to figure out a way to keep it the essence of that character there, yet be unique in a certain way. So this one was so fun because it's like, first of all, it's already gender bending, race bending, right? Because I'm black and a male and the Cruella is a white woman, right? So it's already like, how do I make it a little bit more masculine? So I put him in a black suit and put some red shoes on, like it's real fashion forward, put this real fur coat. Like it was a lot of fun. But I did have to process, I did have to think it all out, you know what I mean? So here you go, I'm inking. And you'll see with the shading, it's not as crisp as I tend to do. Maybe, I don't know what I was trying to do, or I think I was figuring it all out. Because the way I do it now is a lot more crisp when it comes to like the shading and stuff. So you can see now that I got the main design down, I'm putting in. Great thing about a color palette, once you get, well, in this case, she's black, white, and then she has like a red, beige, and there's some green pearl, like green emerald type situation. So I already knew those were my colors. I didn't have to think that hard. So once I got the colors, I knew anywhere I just need to be wise about where I place it. I did a play on like making the spots as the shirt and all that. You know, I thought that was kind of clever. And here goes the shade. So the shading of the shadow was pretty hard. Harsh, not hard, but like a little bit more firm. But you'll see when I go into the highlights that I do not like it. I thought I was doing something, and it's just not. It's not. I love to do rim lighting that isn't a new light, but just I erase the shadow. So like you can see on the left side of the coat, I just kind of erase a line, and it feels like there's light on the other side just a little bit. So you can see I'm doing some highlights and stuff, and it's cool, but messed it all up. I just wouldn't do it that way. Actually, the way I'm doing it now is a much better way of getting those highlights. And you'll see it in the next piece with the new Cruella. Where are we at? I think it's okay. And then now I do like this part, this rim lighting. That really brought it forward. That hard rim lighting, that was fun. And then I did do some bounce, but I didn't do it on the jacket, I don't think. Let me see. I think it was too bright. Oh, I did do it. Okay. Oh, I did a little bit on like the bottom left. Add a little bit of teal, and then added the smoke there. That was pretty cool. That was a nice little touch. That looked like, I actually like the way that looked. Okay, now this is the new recent up-to-date version of Cruella based upon the Cruella movie that just came out. So you can see my sketching is a little bit more accurate, a little bit more precise. It's like it's more thought out, and less like I don't know where I'm going. Like it's like I already know where I'm going. Now this one is actually technically still like a movie scene. Like I still kind of took a scene and then matched it. The difference is it's weird because it's cartoony but detailed. Like, and I was debating because I kind of had the vision of going this route, but you know, as I start sketching, I'm like, oh, if I just ink it, it'll be really cool. But I was like, you know, I'm always inking it, you know, and I'm like, it's time to like, let's give them some more detail again. You know what I mean? And it actually didn't take as long as like Cruella did. Cruella took much longer. The old school Cruella took much longer. And then you see I went in there, sketched everything out. Now I'm doing that silhouette thing. This is just, actually this is when I showed the Patreon. I think I showed them before I put the color down. Like, hey, here's a sketch. Check it out. And then I was like, all right, now let me hop to it. And same thing, you can keep seeing Emma Stone popping in from the movie scene. And that's me color picking and deciding which direction am I going with this. And now I'm adding in, and all these are on its own layer, so I have more control. Granted, there are times I don't want it on too many layers because I want the push and pull of color. But for this particular thing, I needed more control on what I was dealing with. Later on, like those red lips, I made a little bit more vibrant at the end because I actually liked, okay, I kind of liked how dark the red was, but it was like too dark, and I felt like if I make it pop, if I make the red a little bit more, you know, stronger, it might be a little bit cooler for the piece. And then like her eyes, you know what? I don't usually like eyes that are like that. It's kind of creepy, but it was just so perfect, especially if you see the movie. It was so perfect for like what she's been through and like why what she turned into. Her eyes have to be a little off. She's off now. So yeah, that was dope. And this outfit, I mean, if they don't win an award for costume design for this movie, I don't know. I mean, because the costumes in this movie was ridiculous. So that was really good. Same thing, and something that I do now that I wasn't doing is I made the black a little bit more richer. Back in the day, I would make my blacks kind of gray, thinking that would be what is necessary to make it like pop or whatever when it comes to highlights. But honestly, like sometimes you gotta push it even darker to get the black that you want, and I'm glad I did it here. It was no rim lighting in the scene. Actually, it was really harsh black in the actual movie, but just to kind of bring a little bit more vibrancy to the scene, I added a little bit more rim lighting on the left. It's very soft and, you know, it's not a harsh rim light, but it's still a rim light on the left, bottom left. Coming in, adding highlights, and like I said, highlights is what makes it there. I did add a little bit of blush on her cheeks, just a teeny bit, to brighten her up a little, just a little bit, because she's actually really dull in the movie. But just to bring it up a little bit. And then now I'm doing that same technique that I did in the main Cruella, the old school Cruella, and brought it here, but just a little bit tighter, so it's even more sparkly. And that was a lot of fun. Blurred out the background, added some highlight stuff, and then I decided at the end to bring a little bit of warmth because of the fireplace behind her. It wasn't like that in the movie. Once again, I think she was too far from the fireplace. And you can see there I added the red. It made the red a little bit richer. So yeah, so this was fun. You know, it definitely made a Cruella week. Perfect timing. The movie came out. I'm like, well, I got to do something. I mean, I already have pieces. I may as well do it. And then I was like, well, I got to do something for the new piece. Like, come on. If you want to see those videos without my explanation, you're in the wrong place, because we already have those prepared, okay? In the description, or you can click right here and all those videos are there. Definitely check it out. The beat is dope. It's smooth. It's chill. But yeah, it's like, okay. And if you watch the movie, the way Astek put it, it's like, it kind of makes sense how he made the words line up. If you watch the movie, you're like, okay. We got a lot of great stuff coming, so keep your eyes peeled. There's some stuff coming, especially in this month of June and July coming up. Oh yes. Oh yes.
Cruella. At first you think Cruella is a Cruella. Cruella. At first you
What are you doing?
I know you're not about to leave without liking or sharing or something. I know you see that red button. You better subscribe to my channel. See you soon.
Cruella. At first you think Cruella is a devil.